are you guys? So, camera set in, laying down in my snake room because I've got a story to tell you guys, you know, and I like to be comfortable when I tell a story. So this is regarding these guys behind me. Like you'll see in the beginning of the clip, Western Diamondback rattlesnake. So April 2019, I was bitten by a Western Diamondback rattlesnake. So this is what happened. I was literally, we started off the day. It was weird actually because early that morning, you know when you got a weird feeling for the day, and I literally walked up to my wife and I was like, hey babes, let's just have a quick prayer session and go on with our day, you know, like we usually do. But this time I was praying, I was like, Lord, like if I do get bitten, just keep your hand upon me. And so what happened was, it was just before 12:45 before I got bitten. We were busy feeding all the snakes in the park, and Ntokazisi was on the right hand side. He was actually working with an albino Western Diamondback rattlesnake, and I told him, hey listen here bud, just be careful. The snake got a nice long striking range. You don't want to get bitten, so please be careful. And as I'm talking to him, I'm busy opening up the glass of the other rattlesnake that I'm working with at the same time. And I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking at all that day, because I literally had the tweezers to feed the snake in this hand, and I had the food in this hand. And I opened the cage and I just put my hand inside the cage, like just put it in. And then I realized, oh, you know, and I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my hand out very fast and hopefully I don't get bitten. As I pulled out my hand, I literally just saw the snake. I can't explain to you, like everything went slow motion. Like that 1 minute, everything slowed down. From where the snake struck, where the two fangs pierced my hand, to literally where it pulled back. And I stood there for a brief few seconds and I was like, oh, bop. You know, and I was like, this is a dry bite. This is really a dry bite. This didn't just happen. And next moment the pain just intensifies. My fingers start swelling, my thumb starts swelling, and I'm like, oh, this is not a dry bite. This is like serious. This is not a dry bite. So I'm like keeping my cool because I'm not screaming or anything, because I don't want, you know, we had visitors that time. Plus I don't want the guy that's working with me to know that I was bitten. So I closed the cage nicely and I was like, hey guys, I'm just going off to the shop, going to get some more food for the snakes and the alligators to feed. I'll see you guys shortly. And no jokes, I literally walked out and I walked to the back of my house, walked to my wife and I was like, hey babe. And she's like, what? I was like, I've been bitten. And she's like, bitten by what? I'm like, well, the Western Diamondback rattlesnake. And she freaked out. I've never seen my wife so scared and terrified in the whole 10 years we were married. And she's like trying to phone everybody, and I'm like, relax, you know. I got the right guy. So what I did is, we were on the farm and I didn't have airtime with me, or data as most call it. So I found a good friend of mine, Nico, and I was like, hey, listen here bud, I've been bitten. Can you just please phone Mr. Arno from Snakebite Assist and just let him know I was bitten by a Western Diamondback rattlesnake, and you know, so that they can do the right procedures, get me antivenom, whatever the case may be, you know. So as I'm walking up to, because it's like from where our farmhouse is, you walk up the road, and I walked up to my good mate's house, Dean and Sandy, and their son Slade was busy cleaning the car. And I walked up to Slade and I'm like, hey bud, is your dad here? And he's like, yeah, why? I was like, no, nothing much, I was just bitten by a rattlesnake. I need to go to the hospital. And Slade is like, what? Dude, You so cool, what? You know, and he freaked out. And then Dean came and I explained to him what happened. We got into the car, went to the first hospital, and I was on the phone with Mr. Arno from Snakebite Assist. And he asked me, "Have you booked yourself in yet?" And I was like, "No, not at all." And the doctor was standing there by me, and I said, "Doc, just wait a little bit." Now you must imagine the nurse's face because my hand is swollen like crazy, and they looking at me like ready to book me in, and I'm like, "No, no, no, don't book me in yet. I just want to phone for this doctor to see if he's available, because you know he's one of our best doctors when it comes to exotic bites in KZN." So Anu gave me the number. I phoned the doctor. The first thing the doc says to me is like, "You know, you're an idiot. You know there's no anti-venom in KZN. You know when it comes to Western Diamondback. KZN is Durban, KwaZulu-Natal for those that don't know, in South Africa." And I'm like, "Sure." At this point I'm a little bit anxious. I'm not going to lie. I was really anxious. I'm like, "Oh Lord, you know, like, is this going to be it? You know, like, what's going to happen?" So anyways, now we're on our way to the hospital, and you know Murphy's Law, the freaking highway just has to be packed with cars. So we take the old road, and literally more freaking traffic, and we finally get to the hospital, and you know the trauma unit booked me in, and you know they started working on me immediately, doing the test and all those beautiful things, you know, and then later that afternoon. Now, at this point, I haven't told anybody. The only person or people I've let known was my mom, my dad, and my sister. Nobody else. Nobody, nobody, nobody. Just my wife's family and my family. So that's it. Nobody else. Because I don't want to freak people out, you know, for nothing. You know, I'm already feeling like scared. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. And so around late afternoon, Nicholas and them came to the hospital. You must remember I was bitten at 12:45. We got to the hospital at about almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or quarter past 2. Um, so I marked on my hand 12:45, and I made like circles as the swelling went, you know, like marking and putting the time, you know, every hour. And you know, Nicholas, and I got a great amount of respect for him. You know, him and his wife was next to me in bed, you know, next to my bed, the whole night, and till I got discharged, literally, like. And around 8 o'clock that evening, I was literally getting pins and needles. Now, they haven't treated me. They've tested my platelets at this time. You know, my platelets count was very low, but they were still watching the test because, you know, they can't just administrate antivenom because there is no antivenom available. So they have to treat me symptomatically, you know, in case, you know, of the worst. So around 8 o'clock, I start getting this pin the needle feeling going down my arms, and my face goes like completely white, like bleak, and I get this cold sweat, and I look at Nicolas, and then I look at Bernadette, and I'm like, I'm not feeling well, and I'm like trying to raise my hand up to call the nurse, like, "Hey bro, hey, something is going on here, something going on." In the next moment, I go out of it, you know, like I collapse. And in that moment of collapse, I say, "Oh God, forgive me," you know, like, "God wees met my," but in Afrikaans, you know, like. And for that brief moment, I got up, and then they gave me like a super painkiller, and the next moment, I'm so high as a kite. It's like 8:30, almost 9 o'clock. You know, the next doctors are coming in. And now I can't feel too much pain in my hand. You know, it's freaking swollen like crazy. And Nicholas is like, "Hey, bro, you mustn't move your hand that much, you know." And I'm like, "No, I'm feeling fine, you know." And then, yeah, the final test they did, you know, my results came back normal, you know. So people was like, Arno's words exactly to me was like, "You dodged a bullet." I mean, I was very fortunate to walk away not getting any anti-venom. 10 o'clock that night I went home, and Nicholas and them took me home. The next morning I went back to get the rest of my medication, and I went back to the park to work. But I was man down for 21 days. My hand was severely swollen. My fingers, I couldn't move my knuckles. My knuckles were swollen. You guys will see all the photos in the video. So yeah, I'm just thankful that I got an opportunity to live, and I never take that day for granted. I always call it my second birthday, the day it happened. And I'm thankful to be alive, and I'm thankful to be here. And it does put a sense of fear in you when you get bitten. A lot of guys are like, no, I must say, it did put a sense of fear in me when I got bitten. But it's a good fear. It's not a bad fear of, oh, I'll never ever work with venomous snakes again. It was just a fear of, don't be complacent, because sometimes when you work with venomous snakes so long, you sometimes get so complacent and you forget about the danger. You actually forget about these guys can literally kill you. And that's what happened with me. I was complacent, I was an idiot, I didn't think, I just did. And it nearly cost me my life. I'm just very thankful that it didn't. And I got an opportunity to, tell you guys about the story so it doesn't happen to you guys. So yeah, that's literally what happened on that day. And in the beginning of this video, you'll actually see the actual snake that bit me. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of photos and stuff like that. And yeah, please like, subscribe, and share. Stay safe. Don't do stupid thing with snake. Love you guys. Stay awesome. Stay blessed. And just check these awesome snakes out, man. Just look at those freaking rattlesnakes.